Okay, hello, this is Vic, and this is my second video comparing a Ninja blender with a Vitamix blender. First of all, I will start this video by giving you some background information. In 1994, I purchased my first Vitamix blender. I think it was the A3000 was the model number, if I recall correctly. But that was in 94, before they were sold in the retail stores. It was at a Homerama in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It was a new area or a new area that was being developed, and on this one particular night in this large facility which was basically the base camp for the Homerama, where everybody that was going to the Homerama would stop by there. All of the different vendors that were selling things that homeowners may be interested in, like stuff for the kitchen, kitchen appliances, laundry rooms, etc. Different manufacturers were selling their wares there. And as we were walking, there was one guy that was talking. He had a microphone attached to his head, and his voice was coming out of a loudspeaker, and couldn't help but hear him. And he caught my attention because he was holding a Vitamix container, like the one you see on the right side of the screen. He was holding a Vitamix container by his hand, and he was talking about how sturdy a construction it was. And I said to him, "Hold on, let's listen to this guy." And he started talking about the quality of materials, and he mentioned that for, I guess, a few minutes. And then he said, he was about 6 feet tall. He said, "If I drop this right now, it will not break." And the building that we were in had a concrete floor. And I yelled out, I said, "Drop it." And he turned around, he looked at me, he said, "Who said that?" I said, "I did." I said, "If you drop it and it doesn't break, I will buy one. You have my word on that." So he dropped it. It did not break. I immediately bought one, and there were about 30 people behind me buying one as well. And as I paid him for my purchase, he just grinned. He said, "I've been doing this for several years, and you're the first person to ever ask me to drop it." I said, "Well, it's a good thing it didn't break." And he was happy about that. So that's my experience with the Vitamix. And like I said, that was in 1994. I think it was a model A3000. And in 2015, that particular Vitamix started having issues with the motor. And as a result of that, I didn't want to go without a blender because I was so used to having smoothies every day, my own homemade smoothies. I've been making smoothies every day since 1994 using that one Vitamix. And so I didn't think about contacting the Vitamix company. I started just shopping blenders, and I kept seeing different lines of Ninjas. So I decided to try this Ninja 1100 Professional. I said, "This looks pretty good. I'll give it a shot, see how it works." It cost a lot less than the Vitamix that I bought in 1994. I'll tell you that. The Vitamix I purchased in 94, I think, was about $400. And it lasted until 2015. And the Ninja that I purchased about 15 months ago started having problems. So I ended up purchasing the Vitamix that you see in this photograph. And had I known that that I could have easily contacted the Vitamix Corporation, I would have done so. But I just didn't do my sufficient research in that area. And in my haste, I ended up buying a Ninja that barely lasted 15 months. And I started having problems with it. So here I am now with a Ninja and a Ninja 1100 Professional that lasted for about 15 months. And I have a Vitamix Aspire now. And just out of curiosity, I decided to take the container, the carafe of the Vitamix that I just purchased. I decided to take that and drop it on the floor. And I did so 3 times. I dropped it from the same height as my kitchen countertop. And I'm trying to find a slide. And what you see on the left is the Ninja, how the base of it broke. They're both sitting on the floor that I dropped them on. I dropped the Vitamix container 3 times. It did not crack. It did not break. And the Ninja container you see on the left. Now the base of the bottom, the base of the Ninja broke, as you can see. And I'm trying to find the right slide. Okay, and there's the top of the Ninja. Now you see there's a gouge in the top left side, and under that gouge there's a crack that's about 1.5 inches long. So the Ninja didn't stand up very well to my home test. And the reason I did this in the first place was because I had a Vitamix in my possession, and I had a Ninja that was out of warranty in my possession. So I went ahead and I dropped the Vitamix container 3 times. 3 times, and the background that you see behind this Ninja is the material that the floor is made out of. My floor is solid rock, basically it's stone. And I dropped the Vitamix 3 times, and it didn't break, it didn't crack, it didn't peel. The Ninja, however, as you can see, did not stand up very well. I dropped it 1 time on purpose just to compare the materials, the strength of the materials that they were made from. And the Vitamix held up very, very well. Let's see if I can find the right. Yeah, there's a Vitamix on the right. There's a Ninja on the left. You see in the base of the 2 containers. And the floor that they are sitting on right now is the actual floor that I dropped them on. You see that floor is pretty much very solid. It's rock. That's my kitchen floor. But I just wanted to try that experiment because of my experience in 1994 when the first Vitamix that I purchased didn't break. I wanted to see what this new one was like. This new Vitamix that I purchased just a week ago would be like. I wanted to see if it still had the same quality construction, and it does. And this experiment tells me that the Vitamix, as far as quality materials, far exceeds the material that the Ninja is made out of. The Ninja is made out of cheaper plastic in many cases, and the Vitamix has metal in some cases. And I say that because, let me get to the right slide. Okay, there's the right slide. There's the Ninja on the left, the plastic coupler, the Vitamix on the right with the metal coupler. You can see that metal is going, there's no doubt that metal can handle much more power than the plastic can. The plastic is cheaper, it's not going to handle as much power, it's easier to make, and my impression is Ninja is trying to make as many of those items as they can. And they're probably going to have to make as many as they can because they're not going to last as long as a Vitamix. There's no doubt in my mind. And here they are again, once again. One other item I did not mention concerning the Vitamix. In the recipe book that comes with the Vitamix Aspire that I recently purchased, there's a discussion about how to make hot soup. There's a recipe for making hot soup with the Vitamix. Basically, you start out with some room temperature water, and you add the ingredients according to the recipe, and you put it on its high speed, and in about 20 minutes, you have hot soup. Literally, you have hot soup. It's steaming hot. And it takes approximately 20 minutes at its highest speed. And I believe I mentioned the power rating of each of these machines. Oh, And as far as the recipe goes, making the hot soup, the Ninja does not mention that at all. That's proof again, once again, that the performance of the Vitamix is much higher than the Ninja. And the Ninja, on its 4 feet, each foot is a little suction cup to keep it from vibrating on the counter, to keep it from dancing around the counter when it's running, because obviously the manufacturer knows that the machine is not well balanced. The Vitamix needs no such suction cup on its feet because it's well balanced and it's higher quality materials, and the tolerances are much tighter. Another plug for the Vitamix is the Vitamix is made in a company just west of Chicago. I believe they're just west of Chicago. I think it's Vitamix Corporation, and all they make is kitchen appliances. So the Vitamix is made here in America, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. The Ninja comes with a 1-year warranty. And the Vitamix, based on my experiments, is a much higher quality than the Ninja and will last much, much longer, many times longer. As a matter of fact, I don't think I mentioned this already, but I now realize that I hastily purchased a Ninja because I didn't want to be without a blender when my first Vitamix that I purchased in '94 started breaking. And I did that too hasty in buying a Ninja. I should have went online and purchased a Vitamix like I did with this Aspire. And I regret doing that. I would recommend that anyone who's looking for basically a super blender or food emulsifier, because the Vitamix will do much more than just blend foods. It emulsifies foods. Oh, one other item in that area that I didn't mention was that with the Ninja, I noticed when I pour my smoothie into my drinking cup, there's sediment on the bottom of the cup. That was not true with the Vitamix. The Vitamix apparently more thoroughly emulsifies the ingredients, and there's little to no sediment on the bottom of the drinking cup with the Vitamix smoothie. And I cannot say that with the Ninja. The Ninja has solid particulate matter, which tells me that it does not do as good a job as the Vitamix. And the Vitamix Aspire that I purchased was a little more than the Vitamix Aspire was a reconditioned model Vitamix from the Vitamix Corporation, and it came with a 5-year warranty. The Ninja, which is 1100, which is brand new, came with a 1-year warranty. Okay, once again, I'll repeat myself. The Vitamix is made in America. The Ninja is not. Maybe I suspect that the name Ninja indicates that it's not made in America, but it is in fact not made in America. It's made out of cheaper material, and the tolerances are not as tight as they are on a Vitamix, because the Vitamix vibrates a hell of a lot less than a Ninja. It's much more efficient and will last at least 3 times as long as the Ninja will last. Like I said, I have my Vitamix from '94 to 2015, and that Ninja 1100 that I purchased only lasted for 15 months. And I started having problems with it. So I said, well, screw this. I'm not going to mess around with second-rate materials anymore. But thank you for listening. Okay, here we are with the two blenders side by side once again. And you'll notice the Ninja on the left has some of what I call electronic bling. That's something that just adds to the look of the item. Doesn't really do anything as far as quality goes. In my particular case, the Vitamix that I purchased here, the Aspire, does not have a lot of electronic bling. Now, what the Vitamix does have, though, is a steel drivetrain. That is, the motor shaft and the coupler that connects the blades to the motor are made of steel. The Ninja has a plastic drivetrain in a lot of places, where the Vitamix will have steel. So, but in a nutshell, I wanted to say that I recognize that my experiences with each of these blenders may not represent the average experience. Let's say, for example, if my experience with the Vitamix was above average, and because my Vitamix lasted me for 25 years, let's say the average, let's cut it by half. Let's say the average Vitamix lasts about 12 and a half years. And let's do the same with the Ninja. Let's say my experience with the Ninja was below the average, was not the average. And because it only lasted for about 15 months, let's say the average life expectancy is twice that. That's about 30 months. Okay, about 2.5 years. Either way, you still come out ahead cheaper by purchasing a Vitamix. And that's it. Thank you for watching.